Vivekajanya Vairagya, what is the practical way to develop the rest of the sadhana chatushtaya, shamadama, etc. Also, where does Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam fit in the path of spiritual evolution, meaning journey, I suppose? Essentially, my question is about the interplay of sadhana chatushtaya and Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Three-part question. So, Viveka, Vairagya. So, we begin small. What are the qualifications to study Vedanta? You don't refer the person immediately to, what is that, sadhana panchakam. Okay, 40 qualifications, no. You don't even refer them to the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where there are what? 20 qualifications. And so, in the beginning, you tell the people, only 4 things you have to have. Only 4 things, so I think I can manage. Viveka, then Vairagya. No, that will break gently, okay, yeah. Because that thing is actually 6-pack, yeah, yeah. Sadhana, it has a shatka sampatti. So we say first, Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam. Oh, what's the third one? Well, then you say it is a 6-fold topic. 6-fold virtues, sampatti, 6-fold treasure. And then you can say Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. So by that time, they already have Viveka and little bit Vairagya, so then it is easier to understand this. So it's not that Vivek, even though we have to start somewhere to discuss. So there is a krama in the Shastra. There is a krama in the, especially in the Prakarana Granthas. This krama is been given because it is a well-tested way. This is how most people come into the Shastra. First, nothing goes right, all right? Everything goes wrong. Study, 0, all right? And then what else? Study doesn't give, 0 means not that they are not intelligent. It does not give the satisfaction that one had hoped. When job again fails to satisfy, marriage of course fails to satisfy. Yeah. Children satisfy until they are teenagers. After that they don't even, they don't even care whether you exist or not. All right, they have their own lives. So when nothing satisfies, that's one condition. Second condition is everything should go wrong and disappointment after disappointment comes. Then there is a kind of a brain wave that happens. That there is a sadhana, sadhya, asambandha. Asambandha means non-connection. Sambandha, connection, relationship. Asambandha, non-connection between what I want and where I am going. It's like I want to go to New Delhi, but each time the plane lands, I find myself in Chennai. What happened? What happened? I took the wrong plane. I took the wrong flight. One time, okay, you can say some mistake. But bar, again and again it is happening, then this is what is called sadhana, sadhya, asambandha. Sadhana means sadhya, goal. So the goal is not clear. That is what is there. The viveka means the goal is aviveka. Viveka not there means goal is not clear. If goal is not clear, what happens? One goes, goal. Yes, round and round. That's what happens. So the goal is not clear. And how can the means match the goal when the goal is not clear? So then after being, what should I say, meeting one dead end after another dead end. You go somewhere sometimes you go in a new place, you don't know, you take a right turn, and then what do they say? Detour. Come back. Go somewhere else, detour. Come back. Then after many detours, suddenly the Viveka slowly comes, saying that, where it says, what I want is the infinite, and what I am searching for is that which is always there and unchanging. What I want is the forever. But what am I pursuing? The not forever, the never forever. I want to make the finite infinite. How to make the finite infinite? Shatakoti. Even after so many things, so many yugas, you cannot make the finite into infinite. Because the infinite is not made. It is uncreated. It is already existent. It is self-existent, Satchidananda. In other words, you. That is what the infinite is. And so, therefore, this is not the way to go. That is Viveka, when one understands. Then the next step, according to the krama, the order in which it is given in the Shastra is that if I don't want the finite, what should I do? Is drop the finite. Allow the finite things to drop. Grow out of the finite. In fact, if you force yourself to drop, then what will happen? You will want it more. The forbidden fruit is sweet. Yes. And so you allow yourself to grow out of it. That is the force of the Viveka brings in the Vairagya. So then that is what happens. Then what happens is that the Vairagya means you grow out of things. Then people come and tell me this very often. Until I started to study Vedanta, I was fine. Arey bhai, ab kya ho gaya? What happened now? Now, see, before I used to somehow spend my time, I used to go to movies, I used to go here, I used to go there, I used to gossip, I used to, play some games and whatnot. And then it was kind of okay. Not really okay, but okay. I had a routine, I had my little things, my creature comforts and things, my desires, and I was busy fulfilling these desires. Now what? Now Vairagya is coming. I'm not interested in those things anymore. I said, Arey, this is a very nice thing, this is growth. But I'm not that interested in Vedanta either. Between and betwixt. That is when we have to cultivate Vairagya. So, how to cultivate Vairagya? Take longer and longer retreats at the ashram. Yeah. Automatically Vairagya comes, especially if you come in the winter, geyser is not working, Vairagya for hot water comes. Yeah. Either that or Vairagya for shower itself comes. So, we don't know which comes. Okay? So, Viveka, Vairagya, and then what? Then we have the six-pack. Shama, Dama, etc. So again, there is a certain order. In fact, you can't say, unless one is, samahitaha, means the one, unless one has focus, there is no, unless one has samadhanam, focus, the buddhi has focus, Unless these are all kind of catch-22s. That's why you can never say which one comes first. Unless one has focus, one does not really have the incentive to develop a calm, tranquil mind, which is shama. A tranquil mind is shama, then there is no incentive to develop that. So the tranquil mind comes when? When there is the focus. Until there is focus, tranquil mind won't come. Until there is tranquil mind, focus won't come. this is the this is how each of them are connected. So shama, resolved mind. In fact, we always discuss dama first. Bahyendra nigraha tamaha. So the ability to not the ability to have a say over one's reactivity, whether it's through action or speech, this is called dhamma. So this we cultivate first. Somebody says something and the words are ready on the tip of the tongue. You want to give them a lashing with what? The tongue. The tongue can be used nicely as a whip and you want to lash out, but you don't do that. And then the moment is diffused, neutralized, you feel very good. Yes, Dhamma, wonderful, Vedanta is working. But then you can't think of anything else except that encounter. Now that person is thinking I'm a weakling, I didn't say anything, I came like this is what is happening, everything. That is when Shama comes, to process that pain. Because really speaking, even if somebody says harsh words, they are not the cause of the pain. Pain was already there. They just shined a light on it. In fact, we should give them flowers and say, thank you for bringing this issue. I didn't know. You pushed a button that I did not even know I had. Thank you very much, we have to say. So Shama means resolving that hurt through prayer, japa, and therapy, yoga, whatever it takes, resolving that. That is Shama. Shama Dhamma. Uparati is a mini sannyasa, a kind of, this is the prasada of vairagya actually. You let go, not only of things, but notions and the desire to hold on to an argument. All these things you let go. Titiksha, forbearance, the ability to put up with discomfort for the sake of the knowledge, the teaching. So at home you may have exactly how you want, your tea, your lunch, your dinner. But here you allow it to be, because you have more important things in mind than just this. Then of course, Shraddha is highlighted as the jewel of all the qualifications. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The one endowed with Shraddha definitely has clinched this knowledge. Shraddha means trust. All babies are born in a condition of trust. They can't afford to not trust. They can't tell the mother. Newborn baby, imagine it telling the mother. How many babies have you picked up? I don't think you have experience. I'm not coming to you. It cannot afford to say that, because it's entirely dependent upon the mother. Unlike a baby elephant, stands up as soon as it's born. No, baby giraffe. No, human baby needs a lot of care. So that Shraddha is there in the beginning. It looks to the parents as gods, creator, many Ishvaras. But then soon it finds out they are Anishvaraha. They are not Ishvaras. Mother distracted, father inconsistent, or mother there, mother is there but somehow absent. In fact, the M should be silent. Mother is other. Okay. Either that or you add an S there. Smother. Okay. Yeah. Even 1 minute she doesn't allow the child to be. When the child says, what is going on? Nothing. Just karma is being expressed. That's all. Yeah. Father also sometimes you have to add an R. Is farther and farther away. So under these situations, the trust breaks. Naturally the trust breaks. There is no more trust there. Distrust is learned. Distrust is learned from the parents even. Don't do this, don't do that. It's very fearful. Don't go here, don't go there. Distrust is learned from the community, from the society, everything. And then coming to Vedanta, then if with that same distrust I look at everything, including the teachers, then what will I learn? I will not learn anything. That distrust has to be processed. And how? By Sharanagati to Ishvara. That's why we cannot bypass Ishvara. That's why Swamiji keeps saying we need the grace of Ishvara. This is the grace of Ishvara. Ishvara Anugraha means the ability to turn this distrust that started with distrusting the primary caregivers. Okay? The primary caregivers, by that distrust, has to be processed and made into trust again. How is that possible? By discovering the mother and the father of the universe as the infallible, as the mother and the father of the universe. By surrendering to the infallible Ishvara. Then that Shraddha allows one to trust again, and then it becomes a wonderful journey. Samadhanam, we have already discussed, focus. And then mumukshutvam, moksho me bhuyad iti ichha, tivra ichha. A strong, strong desire, may there be moksha for me from all these endless pursuits. May I be free. So this is how it is. Fortunately, you don't have to say Viveka check, Vairagya check, Mumukshutvam check, Shamadama etc. check. No. They are all, as I said, interconnected. You develop one, the other ones will knock on the door and say, let me in also. Please let me also come in, let me also come in. You develop, you focus on one. Whichever is the easiest, whichever is the attracts you, you take up that particular value and focus on gaining that completely. You focus on Shraddha, Shamadama naturally will come. Viveka, Vairagya will come. So really speaking, even though there is an order listed there, it doesn't have to always go in that order. And then how is this connected to Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana? All this is for Shravana alone. Atmajnanaya Shravanam eva mukhya sadhanam. Shravanam is that alone is for the sake of Atmajnanam. Listening. So listening to the teaching from a person who can handle the pramana, the Upanishads as a means of knowledge, that alone is required for the transformation from oneself as an ajnani to jnani. Manana is if one has doubts. One says, I have done Shravanam, but my knowledge is peppered with all kinds of doubts. What should I do? Then we talk about Mananam. Then after Mananam and Shravanam, if there is a certain, certain way in which one is not behaving like one should, in keeping with this knowledge, one has Atmajnanam, but is still succumbing to certain outbursts, reactivity, or old ways of being, then we say nididhyasana. So all this is for Shravanam alone. Because Shravanam alone makes the difference, gets rid of Atma Jnanam. Mananam does not get rid of Atma Jnanam, does not give Jnanam. Mananam removes the doubts. Nididhyasanam removes habitual orientations. The presence of consciousness or its reality is evident in our personal experience. But the reality that it is the same consciousness across beings is difficult to comprehend, to say that the same consciousness exists as a cruel, corrupt, criminal beings while equally being in the form of holy, generous, kind people is hard to understand. Is it our ahankara that stops us from appreciating this? Yeah, basically, yes. It's the bars of the cage. One has bought into the dyads of this is good, this is bad. That is what imprisons us. Those are notions. So, is there corruption? Yes, there is corruption. Are there people participating in corruption? Of course, there are people participating in corruption. And should I secure myself from these people? Yes, you should lock the door. You should keep your valuables safely. That is what was talked about earlier, even in the orientation. Don't take your valuables bathing in the Ganga with you. It was told. Don't keep it in your room. It was told. Yes, you do whatever it takes to protect yourself. You do whatever it takes. That is common sense. Vedanta is not opposed to practical knowledge or common sense. It is in fact the most practical thing. So we do whatever it is. But on the philosophical level, we can appreciate that which we call consciousness transcends notions of good and evil. In fact, ours is perhaps the only theology that doesn't have either evil or evil with a D in front of it. What is that? Devil. Yeah, we don't have devil, we don't have evil. We don't have that at all. Absolutely not there. We have asuras. And if you look at these demons or whatever, demons is also not a good translation. Asura. Asushu ramante iti asuraha. Asu means anything that is immediate, like the breath. Asu is breath. So anything that is immediate, indriya, the objects of the sense organs, the ones who revel in it are called asuras. And if you look at each and every asura, that person was a devotee before they became a baddie. Yeah. Ravana, great devotee. Suddenly there is a hubris. I want world domination. What a waste of time. Yeah. They all did tapas and they all got some boon. Silly, silly boons. I should not be killed in the house. I should not be killed out of the house. I should not be killed in the morning. I should not be killed at night. And then what else? I should not be killed on the floor. I should not be killed on the ground. I should not be killed in the sky. I should not be killed by man. I should not be killed by animal. Many loopholes are possible. Yeah. And Bhagavan uses all of them. No man should kill me. Yeah, that's why Devi Mahatmyam. Yeah. Devi is always there for people who want that kind of a boon. No man should kill me. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. Many loopholes exist. And so, therefore, the this kind of these asuras are not devils. They are devotees gone wrong. That's what they are. That's why they ultimately get forgiveness. They get moksha. And so we don't have devil, we don't have evil. Yes, see, the behavior is because of ahankara again. And that I judge somebody's behavior is again because of ahankara. But the ahankara is due to what? Ajnana. And so therefore, appreciating that consciousness transcends all these things, it will take a little time. That's all it is. Takes the time for the bars of the cage to just fall away. For the shackles of these notions hold us in thrall. And but if you look at from the standpoint of saints, they don't see this is a criminal. This is a holy people don't see that. They will be able to see past that. That's what Narada did with Valmiki. He was going with his little jhola and 2 chapatis that somebody had made him on the way. Stand and deliver. Well, here you can have my bag. You can have my chapatis. I don't want chapatis, I want gold. Well, I don't have gold. And I think you are doing wrong things. He was able to tell him that very kindly, and he even allowed himself to be tied up so that Valmiki could go home and check to see if that somebody will share his papa. He says, you can tie me up, I'm not going anywhere. And of course the rest is history. So there is always forgiveness. There is always the ability for the person to change. There is always room to come back. It is not a culture of condemnation. We don't call anybody a sinner. That is completely devoid in this tradition. It's a very, very thankful thing, beautiful thing. That's why there is self-esteem. The self-esteem is built into the customs, the traditions. It's a very beautiful culture. Please explain Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa. Oh, okay. Chidabhasa. Okay. Here is, I will explain. So, why does one feel sleepy in Vedanta class? It's not your fault, first of all. That should make one feel better if you are awake right now, okay? Yeah. Not your fault at all. Because there is a goddess of sleep. What's her name? Gudaka Devi. And Arjuna is called Gudakesha because he has mastered sleep. Gudakayaha Ishaha. Gudakesha. Because he can sleep standing up like a horse and feel completely refreshed. He takes his power nap on just standing up for 2 minutes and he is refreshed. So Gudaka Devi was all very agitated. She said that, she went to Lord Krishna. She said, everywhere I go, these human beings are crazy. We're always awake. We're keeping on doing something all the time. Even in the middle of the night, they're scrolling and checking their phones and their updates. Something or the other they're doing all the time. They're just occupied with something or the other. They have night lives. They are supposed to not be nocturnal, but everybody has night life. And I don't have any place, I don't have any domain. They have become restless. and they are not resting at all. They have forgotten how to relax. Where shall I go? Where is my place, O Lord? And Bhagavan, in all his kindness, first he thought over the problem. He said, yes, you have a point. Yes, indeed. Okay, never mind. Wherever there is Harikatha, that is your domain. Wherever the Vedanta is being taught, you please go there. That is why the best sleep comes, because it has the blessing of Lord Krishna. That's not a license to sleep, but that's a good explanation. Yeah. And let me see what else is there. Yeah, Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, I will explain in detail tomorrow in the Maya Panchakam class. I will do that. Okay? Yeah. That's an important question and it will come. So we will do that. The Jagat has, okay, that's where it starts. The Jagat has knowledge as material cause. Can you explain this further? Because previously we have studied that, we have read that Ishvara is the material cause. These two are the same questions, similar questions. Material cause, Upadana Karanam, and the intelligent cause, knowledge, is what? The Nimitta Karanam. Yeah. So, in brief, let me explain now. I'll take it up more in the class tomorrow. Now, this Nimitta Karana, the intelligence behind the creation, or the intelligence rather which informs the creation, and the raw material are not always resting in the same being when we look at objects made in the world. Take a simple thing like a golden chain. You go to the jewelry shop, you buy the golden chain, and then you bring it home. Does the goldsmith come along? No. You buy a pot, does the potter come along? No. So the intelligence of the goldsmith, the knowledge of the potter is divested from the material. Even though there is dvikaranatvam, karanadvayam is there, the two causes we can see. Somebody who makes the house, who builds the house, the architect does not come along with the house. So this way, in the world, we find that there is a separation between the Nimitta Karana and the raw material Upadana Karana. We never see the same thing being both. The raw material is taken by somebody, operated upon or acted upon, and we see that as a product which is there for sale, and when we go and buy it, the person who is the knowledge or the mastermind behind it does not come along. But in case of the Jagat, when we provisionally say that the Jagat is created, then Jagat too, to understand this, we say that there is Nimitta Karana, there is the knowledge, because the whole Jagat is nothing but knowledge. Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. So if I say this is a flower, flower is, flower asti. But what really is flower? Is this the flower? No, no, no. That is petals. And then is the stalk the flower? No, no. How you yourself are calling it stalk? How can it be flower? Stalk is not flower, non-flower. Petal is what? Non-flower. Inside what is there? Stamen. That is also non-flower. Underneath is called the hip of the flower, like rose hips. That is also what? Non-flower. Leaves attached to the stalk. Non-flower. Then what is flower? Everything put together. When put together means okay, Puja Swamiji used to shred the flower and say, okay, put it together. He used to take out the petals and say, put it together. Afterwards he stopped. After a while of doing that, he stopped. Because somebody said, oh Swamiji, it is himsa to the flower, I can't watch you taking it apart. Then he stopped doing that. But he would say, okay, please, be my guest, put it together. I can't. Why? Because I don't know how. Don't know how means what? I don't have knowledge. So that flower is non-separate from flower knowledge is. You see, the flower is all knowledge. The flower is nothing but knowledge. That's why when the botanist studies the flower, they can look at patterns. The petals have serrated edges for survival so that when the wind blows they can survive. It has thorns so that you don't go and pick each and everything that grows. For self-preservation, for propagation. It has vivid colors so that it will attract the bees and butterfly for pollination. It's all about self-preservation of the species. It's very beautiful. So this is all knowledge. Flower is nothing but knowledge. This human body is nothing but knowledge. That's why there are doctors, from neurologist to podiatrist. They're all waiting for you, one by one. From head to toe, it is all just object of study, 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 study. Means what? Knowledge, endless knowledge. No matter how much you study, it gets more and more and more and more and more specialized. It's just knowledge, 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 knowledge. Flower is non-separate from flower knowledge is. So the Jagat is what? Jagat is, Jagat knowledge is. And the knowledge has to rest in a conscious being, a sentient being. The knowledge cannot be with an insentient being because it is sentient. So therefore, when we look in the world, we see that there is no separation between the raw material and the maker. Yet we are coming from a very finite mind and a finite understanding. And to help with this understanding, we say abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. The raw material, if you want to go make something, if you want to go make some cake, you can borrow from the neighbor. Please give me flour, sugar, butter, whatever it is you want to borrow, you can borrow. Where will Bhagavan go? So from the standpoint of the material, we say she. And in fact, she has two iterations here. She which is static, which is parinami upadana karanam, that which undergoes change to become the five elements, bhutas and bhautikas, the elementals. Then we also have the unmanifest Maya, which doesn't undergo change. That is also there. Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti. This is the subject matter of the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So she which is the cause, she which is the material, one and the same. And what is Ishvara? Satchidanandam Brahma. And that Satchidanandam Brahma, that Ishvara, is what? The Maya becomes, from the standpoint of Ishvara, all knowledge. Ya ma sa Maya. Ma means knowledge. And so she who is all knowledge becomes the Vibhuti of Ishvara, becomes the glory of Ishvara. In fact, you can't say she is the glory of Ishvara, because she is the glory that is Ishvara. Glory of Ishvara is like saying the head of Rahu. Who is Rahu? Hmm? Yes, a shadow planet, Graha. So this Rahu is what? What does Rahu look like? All head. Yes. Rahu is head. Snake, of the snake you can say Ketu is what? Tail. So what is the meaning when I say head of Rahu? It is Aupachariki Shashti. It is the sixth case only for the lip service. So here glory of Ishvara, it really makes glory which is Ishvara. Vagarthaviva sampriktau Vagartha pratipattaye Jagatah pitarau vande Parvati parameshwarau. Kalidasa's wonderful prayer. They who are united and can never be, they who are inseparable like a word and its meaning. Today morning class we saw a lot about word and meaning. Everything in this Jagat is what? Nama, Rupa, word and meaning. So they who are inseparable like a word and its meaning. Like if I say pot, can you not think of pot and think of pencil? Impossible. The word cannot be separated from meaning, and similarly, Shiva, Shakti, or Ishvara and Maya can never be separated. All glorious, all Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. The one who is the creative Shakti, the creative power, everything. Vagartha Pratipattaye. So that I look for the grace of that Bhagavan in order so that these words which I am going to put down can be understood. Pratipatti means for cognition, for these words to shine in the mind of the reader. Jagatah pitarau vande. In Sanskrit we have very nice shortening things. Mata cha, pita cha, pitarau. Pitarau means parents. So Vande means I invoke, I worship the parents of the universe, Parvati and Parameshwara. They are one. For ease of understanding, we separate as Nimitta Karana, Upadana Karana. In the world, the Nimitta Karana, the intelligence behind something and the product will always be different. Always be different. But then, when we talk about Ishvara, it is Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. Abhinna, non-separate. Okay? Yeah, so, I hope that was clear. We can talk more about it. And Ishvara is the material cause. Yeah, when you say Ishvara is the material cause, because you're not making a differentiation between Ishvara and Maya. So when for the sake of understanding we make this distinction, then we have this. So that same Maya is manifest in the Jiva as Ajnanam, and the same Maya is manifest when we talk of Tatpada as all Jnanam. This is what the problem is. This is why there is so much confusion. I'll talk more about that later. This is done. Chidabhasa. This is a particular kind of a kind of a tool, a Vedantic tool to understand how to see that this consciousness, which is free of everything, limitations, body, mind, senses, how did it become trapped in this body, mind, senses? How is this differentiation taking place? There are two theories. One is the theory, and I have to use as though and so called all the time. I think I should keep my fingers like this permanently. So, one is the theory of as though reflected consciousness. Pratibimbavada. And the other one is the theory of as though conditioned consciousness. Consciousness, mind you, is neither reflected nor conditioned. Okay? So, but here we are trying to understand something. Sometimes we make it worse by all these explanations. So, the theory of as though reflected consciousness gives this talk example of one sun and then 20 pots of water. How many suns do you see in the water? As many 20. As many pots, that many suns. Now the sun, the reflection of the sun in that medium of water will depend, the clarity of the reflection will depend upon how clear the water is. If the water is turbid, the sun will look how dull. The water is clear, the sun will be shining. And so the water is equal to the mind, and the sun is consciousness, and the consciousness which blesses the mind. This is what is called Chidabhasa. Abhasa, reflection. Okay. Then this is called Pratibimbavada. You will find this very nicely elucidated in Manisha Panchakam. Then there is Avachedavada, the theory of as though conditioned consciousness. So here, this is more upadhi based. So the upadhi is the conditioning agent, so to speak. Don't think of shampoo and conditioners, okay? Yeah, that's not what we are talking about. Yeah. This conditioning means constricting. Upadhi means the container in which something comes, like even the body-mind-sense complex. So the indweller is what? Same consciousness. So the consciousness which is between the consciousness which is the indweller of this particular body-mind-sense complex and the consciousness that is unconditioned by any other constraining factor, what is the difference? The upadhi is the difference. And so this one posits, this avachedavada posits that the consciousness is as though limited, as though conditioned by the body-mind-sense complex. And if the Pratibimbavada people love the water and the reflected sun analogy, the Avachedavada people like the analogy of space. So there is space. Where is space? Everywhere. Where is consciousness? Everywhere. Now, right now, where are we in? Hall space, auditorium space. The auditorium space is so called because it is conditioned by these walls and this ceiling. So from the auditorium space, you will walk again outside into what is that? Unconditioned space. Then you will go to your room space, which is much smaller than the auditorium space. And then what? The bathroom space, closet space is even smaller than the room space. But still, the one who is a space jnani, the one who is not spaced out, okay, as a space jnani will know that it is all space. All you have to see is a building, an old building being demolished on your walking route. You're taking a walk, there is this old building which is big. Oh, you wonder how many rooms there must be inside that. Oh, how big the hall must be, the kitchen must be, the dining room must be, how many bedrooms must be there. And then what? The wrecking ball comes and then they do everything first, all inside, everything, and all that you see is four walls and a big hole in the middle. After that, what? Nothing. So this is avachedavada. Both have problems because we are trying to explain that which never happened. There is no avacheda, there is no pratibimba. There is neither pratibimba nor avacheda. We are just putting some theories for sukha pratipatti. That's all, for ease of understanding. Come. Good night bhajan. Okay. Yeah. Short one, okay?